Did you know that one of the most powerful estate planning moves you can make costs almost nothing, takes less time than filing your taxes, and most people have never even heard of it? We're talking about transferring your real property into a revocable trust. And if you own real estate right now, this might be the most important video you watch this year. Now, before you close the tab thinking this is some complicated legal maneuver reserved for the ultra wealthy, let us stop you right there, because this is actually one of the most accessible tools in the estate planning toolbox. The irony is that the people who need it most, everyday homeowners, middle-class families, landlords with 1 or 2 rental properties, are exactly the ones who never hear about it. Here's where most people pump the brakes. And honestly, it's a fair concern. If you transfer your property into a trust, doesn't that trigger the due on sale clause in your mortgage? That fear alone has paralyzed thousands of homeowners from making a move that could protect their families for generations. But here's the thing, and this is where the story gets really good. Federal law already solved that problem back in 1982. The Garn Germain Depository Institutions Act. Yes, that is a real law and not a spell from a legal textbook. Specifically prohibits lenders from calling your loan due simply because you transferred your property into a revocable living trust for estate planning purposes. Let that sink in for a second. Because Congress drew a clear legal line in the sand and said, lenders, you do not get to weaponize the due on sale clause against someone who is simply trying to protect their family. As long as you remain the beneficiary of that trust, your lender legally cannot touch your loan over that transfer. So what does a revocable trust actually do for you in plain English? Think of it like a legal container that holds your assets during your lifetime. One that you control completely, can change anytime, and dissolve seamlessly into your heirs' hands the moment you're gone, without ever stepping foot inside a courtroom. The magic word here is probate avoidance. And if you've ever watched a family member's estate get tied up in the court system for 12, 18, even 24 months after they passed, you already understand why this matters. Probate is slow, it is public, it is expensive, and it is entirely avoidable if you plan ahead. Historically, families who failed to title their assets properly have left their heirs holding the bill, sometimes paying 3 to 5% of the estate's gross value just to get through probate court. That's $15,000 on a $300,000 house. Gone. Not to a charity or a loved one, but to court fees and attorney costs. The misconception we hear most often is that a trust is only for the rich, or that it's a complicated structure requiring teams of lawyers and decades of planning. In reality, a revocable living trust can be set up for a few hundred to a couple $1,000s, and the transfer of real property into it is often just a single deed filing with your county recorder. Here's the historical lesson that keeps repeating itself across every generation. People procrastinate on estate planning the way they procrastinate on going to the dentist, and both habits tend to get expensive real fast. The families who act early, who make the boring, unsexy, administrative moves before they need to, are the ones who protect their wealth and spare their loved ones an enormous amount of grief. The disciplined move here isn't flashy, it doesn't go viral, and nobody is posting about their revocable trust on social media, but it is one of the highest return actions you can take as a property owner. We're not talking about speculation, market timing, or betting on interest rates. We're talking about a straightforward legal structure that costs almost nothing relative to what it protects. If you are sitting on a piece of real property and you do not have a revocable trust, the question isn't whether you should do this. The question is why you haven't done it yet. And the answer is almost always that nobody explained it clearly enough until now. The beauty of this strategy is its simplicity. You retain full control of your property. You can sell it, refinance it, or revoke the trust entirely if your situation changes. And yet your heirs avoid the time, cost, and public exposure of the probate process entirely. It is the rare financial move where you give up almost nothing and gain enormous peace of mind. Discipline in wealth building is never about the one dramatic swing. It is about making the quiet, systematic, protective moves consistently over time so that your foundation never gets eroded by things that were entirely preventable. A revocable trust is exactly that kind of move. Humble in its appearance, but formidable in its impact. Whether you're just getting started in real estate or you've been building your portfolio for decades, we can help you take the next step from real estate investing and home contracting work to finding the right lenders, check out the links in the description below.